Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. And with the recent launch of the Pixel 9a, for which I will release a video soon, so watch this space, I thought that we should refresh our minds and revisit Google's last launch of the 9 series phones, and a bit more, as there were also a new watch and new Pixel Buds, but we'll get to those. I just want to focus this video on the new phones, so as you know by now, or maybe not, so this is the news for you, in which case where have you been? There are several phones. There are the Pixel 9, Pixel 9 Pro, Pixel 9 Pro XL, and then the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Now some people say the names are a bit confusing. Honestly, it's not really that bad, except maybe the Fold. The base phone, the Pixel 9, is $799, and with that you get the 6.3-inch screen size, and it has this new design with that flat matte metal size, and a polished glass back in 4 colors. The colors are porcelain white, obsidian black, and winter green, and peony kind of Cosmo. Then there are the 2 Pro phones, so the Pixel 9 Pro and Pro XL. What's sick is a 9 Pro is the exact same size as the Pixel 9, just like with the iPhone's been doing, and the only thing that's different about the XL, it is just bigger, 6.8-inch screen and a bigger battery. But yeah, the Pro phones start at $999 and $1,099, and with that you'll get an extra third camera, telephoto camera. They have more RAM and they switch to glossy rails with a soft touch glass back, again in 4 colors, obsidian, porcelain, hazel, which looks nice, and rose. Quartz kind of a more faded pink. We always say it that this time round Google did it, and it's a case where we say it again. These phones really feel and look like actual flagships, and it's not because the trend these days is to do flat sides. That's not the only thing. They feel a little bit heavier in the hand now, which gives them a more solid feel, while the screens are all much brighter. So the Pixel 9's actually display is 35 nits brighter than the Pixel 8, and there's thinner bezels all the way around, and yes, finally, it's an ultrasonic fingerprint reader under the display, not optical, and this is polarizing, but the huge lens opening, I think it just looks promising. Our first impression at least was that, these photos are going to end up very pixel-like, very punchy and contrasty, and they're just bigger sensors than before, so potentially more shallow depth of field. But I guess aesthetically the camera bump, even though I like the older ones better, I still kind of don't mind these new ones. I know it's not the full visor all the way around like before, and I miss that, but it's now like perfectly flat island, and that is still distinctive. It's pretty unique as like a pixel thing. Okay, so now specs. Let's just get them all in one place there. These are all the specs that we've been able to confirm. You'll notice all these phones across the board, all the new Pixels have the same Tensor G4 chip. So that's the new chip. It's more powerful, they're saying, and more efficient, and should have dramatically better AI capabilities. Obviously it's a Pixel, but we'll get there. But also notice it's the exact same primary camera and ultra-wide camera between the base phone and the Pro phone. So again, Google is making the lowest price. Won't look like a great deal, but there's not a lot of hardware difference between the base phone and the Profile, and it's a 200 difference this time. But for that you get maybe a slightly better screen, a telephoto camera, more RAM, and a better selfie camera. That's kind of it. When Google says Tensor's 20 faster with web browsing and 17 faster with app launching, I believe them. I mean, these phones are really quick and snappy, at least for my impression. And I just want to say again that I'm really glad they made a smaller phone with all the benefits of the Pro. Because there are a lot of people who want a better phone, but not a gigantic phone. So having a Pro that's not a Pro Max is sick, because these do not be Pixel phones without a boatload of AI. And so there are definitely some new AI features coming along with these Pixel 9s. The big ones are the new Weather app, the new Screenshot app, and Pixel Studio. So the Google Weather app has been redesigned for the Pixel 9s, as you can see, which is a bunch of tiles now. And this very, modern looking version of the weather. And right at the top is an AI generated comment about the weather. The internet gives us a lot of information and kids are at risk of being influenced by the bad in it. I generated comment about the weather, maybe sometimes telling you what to wear, something cool. I guess it's almost never used the stock weather app on my phone, and that probably won't change here. But for those who do, alright, fine, that's a good improvement. Then Screenshots app is interesting. Again, I don't think many people are going to use this, but if you do, it's basically a new app that gathers all of your screenshots specifically in one place, and then it scans each one of them for any information in them to be able to remind you later or help you search through later. But then there's the Pixel Studio app, which I guess that's the hot new thing in devices with AI, is to have an app called Studio that just lets you create AI-generated art on device with a simple text. Apple just announced that in iOS 18, but they're not shipping that yet. But the one thing which impressed with this one is that it's really quick, like maybe 3 seconds or so to generate a new image, and it's completely on device. So it's still going to be this fast when your internet connection sucks you off online or something like that. So yeah, I don't know, maybe you generated pictures or memes for text conversation or for X or something like that, but yeah, it's another AI app on the phone. Also, Magic Editor in Photos has this new Reimagine feature where you can not only erase things or reframe things in your pictures, but you can now highlight a section and reimagine it as something, and that can be whatever you type, just something completely different. So I guess you can straight up make up new scenes and pictures. Now that totally didn't happen, kind of like Samsung Sketch to Image. What is a picture, but maybe the best what is a photo feature is this new one in the camera, again built right in called Add Me, and it's actually, I think, pretty impressive. Basically, if you ever had a group of people and you want to take a group shot but you don't have anyone else who could take the group shot for you, no problem. The admin feature walks you through this. So okay, first you open the camera mode and it tells you to kind of wiggle the camera around a little bit so it can get a better sense of 3D space in the environment. Then the photographer, number 1, takes a picture of everyone except for them and leaves a little room for themselves. Then once they take that, they can have everybody peace out, and then one of those other people becomes a new photographer and tells the first person where to pose so that they can sort of be next to everyone else. It overlays where the people were and a nice white box over the scene to help keep the framing the same. Once the second person poses, they snap the picture and Google straight up merges the picture together into a group photo with everyone. Another moment that totally never happened, plus it keeps the originals too. Very avant-garde. Okay, so then there's the following phone. So this is the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. I don't know why it's called that. I don't know why it's not just called the Pixel Fold 2. Maybe it's easier to remember because now they're all 9s, but whatever, they added Pro to the name for some reason, but it's a fold. And the point is, it's dramatically improved from the Pixel Fold that came last year, and the same price, $1,799. So look what Google cooked with this thing. I think the last Fold, it was constantly called the best foldable to use closed, which is kind of a half compliment, but it's true. This new one has an even bigger screen, it's 6.3 inches, so right now it's about the size of the other base Pixel 9. And it's still reachable because the bezels are all pretty thin. The whole phone is thin all the way around, and it's almost also much brighter, to 80 brighter than the last Fold. And then on the inside it's also a large 8-inch display that, like I said, it mirrors the home screen layout of the cover display, and the whole phone with the metal rays and the soft touch matte glass just all feels even more premium, like of a flagship, than ever before. And look how thin this thing has got to be. I mean, it's definitely one of the thinnest foldables out now, maybe not Vivo thin, wink wink, but each side is barely thicker than a USB-C port, and so combined with the flat size is barely thicker than a normal phone. Now of course it still has this camera bump on the back, which is I don't see a lot of thoughtful design in this camera island, but I feel like I can accept it with the rest of this phone's design being so impressive. It's just so good, it feels great to use open, it's awesome. I feel like this is just a better version of the previous best foldable. The OnePlus Open for me was a thing, but still to be determined on battery life and camera quality. But these new cameras here are different from the main Pixel 9s. But you know, my general first impression is clearly pretty positive. It also, of course, has the Tensor G4, 16 gigs of RAM, and all the AI benefits that come from these new Pixel, like the Pixel Studio screenshot app, weather app, which we already mentioned. All the other Pixel stuff, it is also IPX8 rated, so it can probably take a splash. And Google also mentioned that they're partnering with some number of developers to optimize some games for the interior screen, so looking forward to see what those end up being. It also comes into colors porcelain white and obsidian black. Highly interesting. I think this Pixel 9 Pro Fold has a chance to get me to being a foldable user. If that outer screen remains just as usable as any other phone and the bonus is a gigantic 8-inch screen whenever I want it, one of the biggest displays literally offered in a phone. So these phones feel for now like they have actually achieved the modernized glow-up that we have been hoping for from Google's flagship phones. However, it's not just the phones, as we said. There's also a couple other gadgets. So the new Pixel Watch 3 has basically the same design but now comes in two sizes. There's a new larger 45mm size that gets you like 40% more screen, and the bezel is also a little bit smaller. So these screens are also a little brighter, 2000 nits, and there's a new body score feature which seems like everyone's suddenly decided to copy from Garmin, but that will sort of summarize all of your metrics into one score at the top. There's also some new running features as well. Potentially the biggest change is the new dual chip architecture to give you even longer battery life. They're saying up to 36 hours in battery saver, which isn't exactly pushing the industry limit, but it should be better than last year, and same price of $349 for the small one, while $399 for the big one. Then there's a new Pixel Bud, so the Pixel Buds Pro 2, which at this point are kind of like Gemini Buds or Gemini. So they are updated the design to be a bit smaller. As you can see, just these little bud things with no stalks. There's a little tiny stabilizer fin to keep it in your ear. Hopefully it stays. Then there's a new custom designed AI chip based on Tensor that improves active noise cancellation, improves overall sound quality, and also lets you have a back and forth conversation with Gemini Live, just a straight up out loud back and forth convo with an assistant. But is it the AI features, or is it the new camera stuff? Is it the new hardware, which I think looks pretty sick? Well, let me know in the comment section below. And with that, guys, we hit the finish line for this video. For those who stuck around till here, well, kudos, my friends, you have my respect. But really, thanks for the views, the likes and the subs. I promise I will try and keep my momentum on videos. And until the next one, take care of yourselves and each other. See ya.